Hey, what's up everyone? It's Vinny D here. Welcome back to another episode of Ask the Skinny Guy Savior. This is one of my favorite parts of the month when I get to film these for you. I get to see what's on your mind, what problems you have, and we're gonna solve your problems in 60 seconds or less. At least we're gonna get you sent in the right direction and get you thinking about your problem with the right mindset to fix it. So today we've got a series of questions coming off my Facebook fan page. If you're new to the show, by the way, I've got 60 seconds to answer each question. So this is no nonsense style. And this episode is going to deal with left to right imbalances. So I've been getting a lot of questions on imbalances. This arm's bigger than this arm. This pec looks different than this pec. I'm stronger here, weaker there. So it's a very important topic. And the analogy that I use when I'm working with a new client is I always say, look at your body kind of like a car. And if your car is not aligned, if the transmission's not working, if the tires are out of, if your tires are flat or they're not rotated properly, if there's any alignment issues with the car, does it make sense to take the car out on a long road trip? Not a good idea. You're not going to make it really far down the road. So I look at building your body the same way you would look at fixing your car before taking it out on a long road trip. We've got to give it a tune-up. We have to make sure everything's aligned, everything's in balance, you don't have any weaknesses, because we all know you're only as strong as your weakest link. So these questions are extremely valuable, and I'm glad you asked them. So let's get to them. We've got 5 questions today. The first one's from Usam Kiani, and he says, "Hey Vince, I've been working out for a year now, 5 days a week, and I've noticed a bit more strength in my left arm than my right. Also, there is somewhat of a noticeable difference between my 2 biceps. What can I do to improve my weak arm? Thanks in advance and keep up the good work." So Sam, I'm going to share with you the weak side rule. The weak side rule is that you never do more reps on the strong side than the weak side. So if you're doing your dumbbell curls, let's say you're doing seated dumbbell curls and you're doing 1 set of 15. Let's say you get to 15 reps and you can't do any more on the left side because it's failed on you, but you can keep going on the right side, you stop at 15. Your set's done. So you always stop the set when the weaker muscle group fails. What this does is it prevents the imbalance from magnifying, and it gives this arm an opportunity to catch up. So most of the time, these imbalances, if they really are muscular imbalances, take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months to kind of minimize. A big thing is to start really focusing on squeezing that weak side harder, really developing that mind-muscle connection, and sticking to dumbbells for the bulk of your exercises. Okay, so the next question goes to Maxwell Torres, and he says, "Hey Vince, I was wondering what should I do about muscles that lag? That is, my left upper pec is more developed compared to my right upper pec. Also, my left outer triceps bulges out more. What should I do to correct this? More reps on one side, leave it alone. By the way, I'll keep my form as correct and precise as possible." Great. So I'm pretty confident your problem, Maxwell, is that you're not fully shortening your pec. So if your left pec is more developed than the right one, what we can start doing at the start of your warm-up, at the start of your chest workout, is to start doing some cable flies, but you need to do them properly. So here's what most guys do when they do their cable flies. Whether they're bringing the cables across their body or 45 degrees or at the bottom, most guys finish their cable flies like this. Now I want you to do this right now. Everybody watching, bring your hands together like this as if you're doing a cable fly and contract your pecs. They're not very hard, right? It's still kind of soft. Now just straighten out your arms and bring your elbows together. Feel your pecs now. Much harder, right? That's because you've shortened them more. Now let's actually do what the pecs are designed to do, internally rotate, and now feel your pecs. Rock hard. Why? Because you fully shortened them and they're fully contracted. So this is what you want to think about when you're doing your flies. You want to think about internally rotating through the movement. I'll post a link below so that you can watch this. Ben and I explain this in much more detail so that you get this right. That's your first project in getting your pecs to start, getting those pecs more balanced. Okay, so the next question goes to Napoleon. Hey Napoleon, what's going on? He says, hey Vince, good job with the video. My problem is one arm bigger than the other. Any tips? Okay, so yes, lots of tips. I'm going to assume you are applying the weak side rule. I'm going to assume that you're really working on that mind-muscle connection and that you're contracting that muscle through a full range of motion. One thing I'm going to encourage you to start doing is ensuring your exercises. You have 3 different bicep exercises that emphasize all different positions of flexion. So what I mean by that is that when you're training your arms, you should have exercises where your elbows are behind you as the starting point. So this could be like an incline curl, and you're going through a full range of motion. So this isn't a full range of motion. That is a full range of motion when your tricep is contracted. You also want to do exercises that emphasize the mid-range of the muscle. That's where your elbows would be at your side. And then we also want to emphasize exercises where your elbows are in front of your body, which would be like a preacher curl. And this is going to focus more on the top half of the movement. So elbows in front, elbows at the side, and elbows behind. Those 3 tips are going to ensure you're strengthening the muscle at all ends of the range. Okay, let's go to the last question. Actually, 2 more questions here. This next question goes to Justin Mohammed. Hey Justin, how's it going, Vinny? I'm doing great, my man. I have this problem where my upper left pec is noticeably smaller than the right one. Any tips on helping me with this? You had the exact same question as Napoleon. So just hope you were listening to what I just previously said. And let's move on to the final question from Steven. Steven says, why is it the one calf can fire more than the other? I've tried all kinds of time under tension on my calves, but one is a lot more toned than the other, but they have gotten the same amount of work. How can this happen? So Steven, what I want you to start doing are single leg calf raises without any weight. One of the bad habits we develop is that we get caught up in how much weight we're doing. So what happens is we shorten the range because it's getting exciting to lift more and more weight, but what happens is we sacrifice range of motion. Range of motion should never be sacrificed for load if our goal is muscle growth. We always want to train through a full range of motion. So when we're thinking about the calf, we want to think about what the ankle's doing, not what the foot is doing. So you'll see a lot of guys do these little partial movements with their feet with a huge amount of weight. What you want to think about doing is fully pointing your toes as much as possible. So you're working through the ankle, and then you want to think about flexing your toes as much as possible. I'm sorry, flexing your ankle and then extending your ankle. Flexing your ankle and extending your ankle. One of the ways you can flex your ankle even further is by contracting this tibialis. That's going to allow the calf to lengthen even more. So think about working through the ankle, not the foot. So some of those questions would have been great to have answered downstairs in the gym. As you guys know, I've been mentioning this and getting you guys all ready for the big reveal, which will happen in about a month or so. Gym Del Monte is being built as we speak. I'm gonna start doing some really cool, I'm gonna start filming a lot of these videos down there in the gym setting so I can start demonstrating this on pieces of equipment so you can start, you know, visually getting it a lot quicker. And I'm really excited for that. So great questions, guys, on the left to right imbalances. I hope those helped. And just as another mention, if you want to take this to the next level, back to the car analogy. For those who don't own my flagship muscle building program, No Nonsense Muscle Building, this has been the best-selling muscle building program on the internet since 2006. That means it's been sold more than any other muscle building program out there. And one of the, I think one of the things that is really appealing to a lot of people is that it starts off with a phase called upside down training. Upside down training is a 4-week phase that is designed specifically to tune up your automobile, to tune up the car, to minimize imbalances, improve posture, strengthen your core, minimize any weak links in your body, and there's some really unique protocols. The reason I call upside down training is because everything you're gonna do in the first 4 weeks is completely the opposite of what of what you're used to doing. So this is going to be a really, it's actually, the feedback I get from this one phase is quite humorous, because people are like, oh my God, I feel like I've never worked out before. This is incredible. So upside down training comes with no nonsense muscle building. I'll put a link there for you guys below. If you feel like you've got these imbalances that just aren't going away, you probably just need a better program that is specifically designed to treat them. So that's why I've created upside down training. It's included with no nonsense muscle building. And if you feel like that's what you need, be sure to check it out. Okay, thanks so much, guys. That's another episode. If you haven't subscribed yet, you know what to do. I love your comments and feedback, so you can do that below as well. And we'll see you very soon next time, and we're gonna start talking about lagging body parts. See you soon.